please call the roll.
Freeholder Di Nicola.
Here.
Chairman Pro Tempore Felice.
Here.
Freeholder Mitchell.
Present.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Here.
Vice Chair Voss.
Here.
Freeholder Zour.
Here.
Chairman Gantz.
Aye. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Voss, would you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Communications none, minutes none. We'll take a motion to open the meeting to the public.
So
Moved by Freeholder Di Nicola, seconded by Dr. Voss. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed signify by saying aye. Motion is carried and the meeting is open to the public. We're trying something a little different to see if we can get a little bit of order to this and perhaps to allow more people to speak and to speak freely. And what we've done is we have a little form. We ask that you put your name on it, your address, your phone number, if you want us to get back to you, your email address for comments as well, and then just a general blurb as to what you want to talk about so that we have some sense of what's there. I'm going to ask Mike Kaplan to go around again. Anybody else wants to add to this? You're certainly free to do that. It just will be of some assistance to us. Maria, would you like to start us off with this? 3-minute rule is in effect this evening.
Thank you. Yeah. Maria Aberasturi, Aberasturi, Teaneck, New Jersey. I wanted to speak about two things tonight. One is mental health, and then I wanted to make some brief comments about the Board of Social Services. I'm sure most of us in the room read the record, and if you do, you would be aware that last week a woman named Joan Orlick, a Bergen County resident, died. Ms. Orlick was a tremendous advocate for people with mental illness and a very important part of our county's mental health system. I did not personally know Ms. Orlick. I did have the opportunity to speak to her on a couple of occasions, but I think that the beauty of her life and the tragedy of her death clearly indicate why it is so important that we as a community support mental health services. Mental health is, or mental illness is a chronic disease, and unfortunately, like other chronic diseases, sometimes it results in death. I believe that the reason that we dedicate county funds and municipal funds to providing local community services and treatment for mental health is because we recognize that this is like any other chronic disease, and if we treat it appropriately with evidence-based treatments, quality treatments available close to home, and people have access to these treatments regardless of ability to pay, that we as a society all benefit from that. One of the other ways we support mental health in this county is through our mental health board. A couple of months ago I was here asking about appointments to the mental health board. The rules of the board are that we're supposed to have 7 to 12 members. Currently we have 6. And without the 7 members, it's impossible for us to do our business. You have a very active county mental health board. We're working on a lot of initiatives, a SOAR initiative to help people get on Social Security, a means of being able to track more accurately our county dollars and funding to our community mental health centers, and what kind of benefits we're receiving from them. And we require board members in order to do that. I don't know where the appointments are, but I'm hoping that they be given some priority so that the board can continue to work on these very important things. That's what I have to say about mental health. I wanted to just briefly say something about the Board of Social Services meeting last
You
night.
have 1 minute.
I wanted to, again, I thanked them last night, and I wanted to thank them here publicly. Thank Freeholder Voss and Freeholder Zur for allowing the citizen members of the Board of Social Services to assume the leadership positions at the board. It was like that for a very long time. I guess something new was tried. I'm glad that we're going back to the old way of doing things. I am hopeful from what, the changes at the board, and I do hope that safety is one of the things that our new board gets to immediately, and the police training and implementing what the Bergen County Police recommended in their report. We utilize that county resource to come and identify problems. I think now we need to move forward with that. Otherwise, it's just an exercise, and we've wasted valuable resources. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Due to my own error in getting this started, we were supposed to have an invocation at the start of this tonight. I'm going to invite Rabbi Toe from the Glen Rock Jewish Center to come forward and give us an invocation now. My apologies, we're just getting used to a new system and a new chair.
Yes, Neil Tao, N-E-I-L, last name T-O-W. Chairman Gantz, freeholders, fellow Bergen County residents, I'm Rabbi Neil Tao from the Jewish Center in Glen Rock, and I would like to thank the freeholders for inviting me here tonight. Before a blessing, just a few comments on how interfaith work has been for me a blessing in my 7 years as rabbi in Glen Rock. Working with my colleagues on the religious communities of Glen Rock, we carry on the tradition of the annual Thanksgiving Eve interfaith service as we gather significant amounts of food for donation to those in need. We also do the same on July 4th. We have banded together to field an interfaith team for the Relay for Life and will participate again this spring for a third year. I will be teaching an interfaith study class for the 6th straight year with my Lutheran colleague Roger Spencer. And I had the special privilege recently of traveling with Freeholder Mora on a Jewish Catholic mission to Israel. On President's Day, the Interfaith Brotherhood and Sisterhood of Bergen County will again hold its annual meal and speaker, this year hosted by the Sikh community. And the Jewish Federation, through the Jewish Community Relations Council, has begun an active dialogue and partnership with the Korean community. We are seeking to build working partnerships with the evangelical Christian community, African American and Latino communities as well. And everything I've just mentioned is only a small part of the interfaith and intercultural work occurring here in our county. In both formal and informal ways, we are developing connections, building community to the benefit of all. It is my hope that together with the freeholders, we can continue and expand opportunities to both honor religious and cultural identity, while also bridging the gaps of knowledge and familiarity that sometimes prevent us from joining hands together in harmony and providing help where it is needed. When religious and cultural communities step forward and work together, we can maximize our people power and foster knowledge of and tolerance of one another. With the hope that we will be able to extend this good work, we pray tonight in the name and presence of all the sources of divinity and holiness the people of Bergen County hold dear, that the Freeholder Board may have courage, patience, and insight in their work on behalf of the 900,000 residents of our county, and that the spirit of unity represented by the handshake in the Bergen Seal will be the guiding force to create an environment in which people of all backgrounds and all towns in which we live can thrive as we welcome this new year of 2013. As we approach the celebration of the birthday of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and as we at the same time celebrate the 150th anniversary of the Emancipation Proclamation, we recognize that the work of justice, community building, and strengthening our democracy are sacred and ongoing tasks. May we all enter this new year with the hope that we can live out the dream that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King shared with us in Washington, D.C. 50 years ago. a dream that continues to inspire us today. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Rabbi, that was positively inspirational. I thank you for it. Freeholder Voss and I both believe that we need to have more attention drawn to the spiritual things and to prayer in general, and we hope that you are the first of many people from many faiths that speak to us at the start of each Freeholder meeting. Hopefully the next time before we get started with some of the other things.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Freeholder,
may I
Nicola.
just make a comment? Having spent 10 days in Israel with Rabbi Tao on what I can only say was a life-changing trip. So many of us leaving our families here, Rabbi Tao, a young family. And one of the events that I remember so clearly in sharing and learning and growing together, what happened on Masada. We were up there on a long, hot morning, and I'm sure we're all familiar with the history of Masada and what took place up there. And it was so still and sad. And it was time for us to go back down. We were waiting for the tram. Rabbi Tao was in front of me, and his cell phone rang. And it was his family at home and his little kids, and he picked it up and he said, "Hi guys, love you, miss you too." And I thought, here we have it, the past and the present. And we have to make the present so positive, so effectively important for all of us. But I'll never forget that moment and the tone of your voice. It was wonderful. And thank you for all you shared for all of us. You are an incredible leader. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. Next person, Mr. Beanstalk. Welcome, Claude.
Good evening. Happy New Year.
To you too.
Claude, first name. Beanstalk, Bienstock, Fair Lawn. The first issue I would like to comment on is important issues: the possible merger of the Bergen County Police with the Sheriff's Department. I just want to emphasize, I don't know all the technical details, but I don't want many police officers to lose their jobs. It's an important issue. It's a question of public safety. So I'd like that to be considered by the Board of Freeholders. The next issue is something I've been talking about for years and years, is the flood control, hurricane damage. I especially want to get the input and suggestions, ideas, and comments from Tracy Sir and Stephen Tonelli. I would like to know what you think should be done in the future to prevent enormous loss of electrical power, because the situation the last 2 years with Hurricane Irene and Hurricane Sandy is not acceptable. I was out of power for 5 days. There were some people in New Jersey out of power for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it was our society came to a virtual standstill. So I just want to know what you think, and if any other freeholders want to comment, is okay.
Well, they'll be very happy to do that with you offline, Mr. Beanstalk.
What?
They'll be happy to do that offline.
What does that mean, offline? I don't understand.
You can speak to them in their offices by appointment or by telephone.
Oh. Does it? Can anybody on the freeholder board comment on the flush?
This is your time to talk and our time to listen.
Oh, it's my time to talk. Well, I made so many.
Another minute, anyway.
Oh, I only have one. That doesn't give me that much time. I made many suggestions that something should be done to prevent a loss of power, and I want to see it happen in the future. I know it's a long struggle. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beanstalk. Mr. Morit from Paramus. Good evening.
Good evening, 75647. First initial is S, last name is Moretti. I saw the film Monumental, In Search of America's National Treasure, yesterday at the Franklin Lakes Conservative Group on Bender Court. And I found it to be a inspirational film. Incidentally, 52 years ago, attended one of Martin Luther King's marches on Washington. When we went down to the monument, I was there researching my psychology degree work on Walter Freeman, and wrote that as part of my law school writing requirement. I was especially interested in the literary issue that has attended Freeman's psychological work, and of course also the work of George Thompson, who was a lecturer at Princeton, and he wrote a book on verbal judo, which was, of course, with respect to police and police verbal defusing of tense situations. I can quite readily understand the limits of verbal persuasion predicated upon my interaction with individuals, certainly at my schooling in Washington and in New Jersey as well.
Mr. Moretti, you have about another minute.
Quite so. And I would hope that we in our high school educational arrangements make note of my comments that we should have people who have gone through with postgraduate work, at least up to the doctorate level. That was something which I mentioned to a former member of the Freeholders, and I repeat once more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Drummond. Good evening, Jerry.
How you doing, David? Jerry Drummond, President, Local 755, United Service Workers Union. DRUMMOND. So this is my first speaking before our newly arranged board here. Congratulations, David.
Thank you.
Edward, I see you're back. I think we used to be advising Jimmy. You're Jimmy Carroll before, always telling good things, I'm sure, about the union to him. Michelle, pleased to meet you. Steve, congratulations. Good to see you here. Maura, see you here. Okay, Joan, Tracy, John, and of course, Ed's been here. Of course, most of what I have to say usually when I come up here has to do with Ed and the administration, because I think I attended the budget session this afternoon, when Kathy introduced the budget, and I think you got the message. She was making very clear that she was sort of like in control of setting things up and stuff like that, and she wanted to make sure you understood that she didn't want you to abolish any departments when she left the room or anything like that. So I think you got that message, but I think you knew that already, that where that was at. But I was pleased for one thing that I didn't hear her say layoffs when she presented what she presented. By the same token, I was concerned about Rockley, about our nursing home there. And I think within the next month or so, we should have some of our members from Rockley come and, present to you. this is sort of like, they've been dangled for over a year now, and it's still being dangled. And I think there are sure there's always questions to go through, but basically one question is, what's your philosophy of government? And at least when Kathy ran for office, her philosophy of government was she wouldn't privatize the nursing home, and she never privatized anything, and she understood the need for safety net and all that stuff. Obviously, some other things have changed in the meantime to sort of make her maybe step back. She hasn't decided. I think that's clear. I think if she decided, it would be out there. I know that.
Jerry, you have about a minute.
Okay, and the same for you guys. I think you guys are looking at that situation now. So I just want to be sure that we get a fair share, that there's no backroom deals, nothing going on in relation to privatization of any county units of government. The union wants to be there, give our say. We know who's in charge, but public sector means transparency and hearing both sides before decisions is made, not after decisions have been made. That's important. I want to just get that out there with everybody here. Other than that, how much time do I have left? I think if anything else.
Time's up.
Time's up. See, I guess I just.
We actually have a clock that Mr.
You have a
Florio
clock.
is maintaining.
Oh, okay.
Ran over.
Good. That's what you get paid those big bills for. You're the timekeeper. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Oleg Kiriakin. I apologize for not getting the last name exactly right.
Oleg, Kiriakin, Oleg, O-L-E-G, and Kiriakin, K-I-R-U-K-H-I-N-I-N-E. Looks like Mark. Okay, so you changed the rules now. I won't get any opinions back, so I'll just read to you what I wrote here. As a human being, it is natural, an indication that you're still alive, that you make mistakes. Do not be afraid, do not be ashamed, but be honest about it. Learn from them and make effort not to repeat them. I think that's very important that you come to that. Now, as a citizen, government is nothing.
Can I just ask you to slow it down just a little bit because the reporter is taking it verbatim.
Okay.
Thanks.
Now, as a citizen, government is nothing more than clay in my hands, to be molded with prudence as seen fit to best safeguard liberty, prosperity, and posterity. Now, prosperity, and then posterity. Now, this is to John M. Voss. A few meetings ago, you spoke about there being a deficiency of volunteers or people interested in assisting in the various committees that the county government has. Can you compile a database of all the various boards and committees with their memberships to include a list of people who are appointed or hired to participate in the deliberation or the administration of something, to include their salary or benefit, if any is rendered, and their qualifications, if any, on top of their sought-out goals? Take, for instance, the Bergen County Board of Social Services. You have all these people there. Why are they there? Do they get paid being there? How much? Is it a full-time position? If not, why is it not? Are they appointed? For how long? When are the terms expiring? All that information. Somebody came up here and brought up something in regards to the Bergen Community College where you have some kind of board system where you need to publish all that information, make it open. So people can go to like the county website, they can see, oh, there's something available, I can do this, and then they apply, and you get new people coming in because there's just a lot of decay and rot here. I'm sorry. Basically, also, after compiling database, obviously publish it on your county website, and then send it over to all the high schools, public and private, universities, colleges in the county, unemployment office, and the Board of Social Services. Now this is to the two new freeholders, but I guess any of you can take up on this thing. This is the Guide to Affordable Housing in New Jersey, 2010, and I think it was updated in May 2012. So this provides all of the addresses of people receiving, I guess, Section 8 voucher housing. And of all the towns in the county, you have 70 towns here. So this is for you. I want somebody here to take this and answer these questions. Is anybody here being raped? Is anyone here being exploited? Is anybody stealing tax dollars? Some type of scheme? And then the most important thing is there some type of plan in these people's lives to get out of this and advance their stations?
You have about a minute.
Okay. Now, to the entity of the board, can you create and manage a database of all the RFQs that come out of the county and the local governments? I presume within the acronym of RFQ that encompasses this thing of bids and non-bids. You need to put all this information out there, like together. For instance, if Cliffside Park is hiring a teacher, you need to have that all together so somebody can go to a website and see, okay, Cliffside Park is hiring a teacher, Fort Lee is hiring a teacher, so people can see all that. Obviously, can you create and manage a database of all the open positions for hiring the county and local governments? Also, I need a venue to publicly and individually communicate with you. It must be publicly in the sense that what I bring to you, others can see and be inspired to contribute, or vice versa. An email is no good. It is private. No one can contribute to it, nor is it publicly viewable, at least in the average sense. Obviously, you can subpoena and you get records that way, but that's complicated. Can you start a blog? Can you share your thoughts to me? What are you working on? What is it that you're attempting to accomplish here? At the very least, are you keeping a private memoir that will be released at the moment of your death? There's too many secrets here. There's too much of that.
Your time's
It's almost done. Just a little bit.
All right. go
Okay.
ahead. Another minute.
Is it possible to make a rule that after not being voted in or the resignation of a freeholder, that they must serve for a short period of time as a mentor, so it can be easier for the two new people to get situated here? So the previous people, I think one of them is sitting down, they could teach them. Faith, hope, courage, and strength. Yes, October was Breast Awareness Month, but it was also National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. That was neglected. That's very important. The Department of Homeland Security puts out many resources together for the public, and you need to capitalize on that. Has the matter of the employees of the Bergen County Board of Social Services receiving adequate safety training been rendered? What is the progress on that? That was very dirty what you did, because now you're no longer part of that thing and you neglected it, and now they have to deal with it. That's very dirty. I need you lot to be progressive, forward-thinking,
Time's up.
proactive individuals. I need you to be visionaries. I need
Done.
you live to work. You do not work to live. Your work is your life. Your life is government. But what is government than mere clay in the hands of a citizen?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
This is the thing that.
Yeah, we'll take care of that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ty Bieber from Brown and Brown. Bebo.
Mr. Chairman, freeholders, my name is Ty Beba. I'm the president for Brown & Brown of Metro Incorporated. We are the insurance brokers for the group health benefits for the Bergen County. I'd like to introduce a letter that was sent to Kathy Donovan, County Executive, today from our office, and enter it in the record, and ask one question afterwards.
Without objection, it's
Thank you.
ordered.
Dear Ms. Donovan, we are writing to inform you of our concerns relating to the process employed. Okay, trying to fit it in. We are writing to inform you of our concerns relating to the process employed and the actions taken by your office to replace Brown & Brown Metro Incorporated with another insurance broker to provide group health benefit insurance services for Bergen County. We have reviewed the relevant documentation, including recent reports
You gotta
issued.
slow it, you gotta slow it down.
Okay, I'll leave you a copy of this, I promise.
I'll give you more time, but slow it down.
I will slow it down, okay. We have reviewed the relevant documentation, including recent reports issued by the New Jersey State Comptroller, as well as applicable New Jersey statutes. Based on this review, we are of the opinion that the process employed by your office failed to fully comply with New Jersey law, the directives provided by New Jersey State Comptroller, or even the administrative code of the County of Bergen. As you may be aware, Brown & Brown has served by resolution of the Board of Freeholders as Bergen County's broker of record with respect to the provision of group health insurance services since 2003. As recently as April 10, 2012, Brown & Brown participated in an interview process held by the County Insurance Committee, which was comprised of County Director of Human Resources, Ralph Kornfeld, County Treasurer, Al Disipato, County Counsel, Jim Satley, County Purchasing Officer, Dominic Novelli, and consultant to the county, Clark Lemondola. The unanimous response reported out of this committee to your office was that Brown & Brown graded the highest out of all qualified brokers interviewed. Interestingly enough, Connor Strong Buckley, the broker who benefited from the actions of your office, also participated in this interview process and obviously was not considered by the committee to be the superior broker participant. At issue for At issue is the RFQ for broker services issued by the County of Bergen on October 26, 2012. The posted due date for submission or RFQ responses was November 9, 2012. During the intervening period, Hurricane Sandy impacted the eastern seaboard. Because Brown & Brown was concerned with meeting the submitted deadline, it inquired as to whether an extension would be granted by the County of Bergen. We were advised by your office via email dated November 5 that there would be no extension of time in which to respond. Because of its dedication to Bergen County relationship, Brown & Brown was able to overcome the obstacles presented by the hurricane and timely complete the entire RFQ process on November 8th, and was qualified via resolution made on December 5th. Despite representations made by your office to the contrary, an extension for the RFQ submittal process was posted on November 7th and extended the time in which to respond to November 16th. During the extension period, there were no new submissions for insurance consulting services. It is noteworthy that Connor Strawn Buckley did not file a submission in either the original or the extended RFQ response period. We have recently been made aware that following the end of the extension period for the original RFQ process, another RFQ period was inexplicably posted on the county website, allowing responses between the dates of December 4th and December 14th. The only respondent to this new RFQ period was Connor Strawn Buckley Agency. To add further to the opaqueness of these events, the effort to individually qualify Connor Strawn Buckley as a potential provider of group health benefits services took place on December 19th and was brought before the Board of Freeholders as an off-agenda topic under a last-minute walk-in without an opportunity for public discussion. On Tuesday, January 8th, Tom Fletcher from our office was informed by the county administrator, Ed Trowinski, and County of Bergen Council, Jim Satley, that the County of Bergen would be making a change in broker services for 2013. When Brown & Brown mentioned the fact of being rated the highest by the County Insurance Committee and the fact that there had never been a complaint to our organization about the level of services provided by our organization, we were simply told that things change. At a minimum, this situation presents a confusing scenario that is less than transparent, and it could be argued that it may even rise to the level of providing at least the appearance of impropriety. I am certain that your office is committed to transparency, as is Brown & Brown. Accordingly, Brown & Brown intends to have qualified representatives to attend the January 16th meeting and February 6th meeting conducted by the Bergen County Board of Freeholders. In order to discuss these matters in open forum, I'm hopeful that your office will be prepared to participate in the discussion at these meetings as well. So, my question to the freeholders is, was a change in broker services for group health benefits approved by the board?
It was not.
That leaves us in an interesting dilemma because the insurance companies we're working with have been provided a change request letter, and everybody is waiting to see who gets to work to market the renewal of the insurance program.
Chairman, I beg your pardon. If I may clarify, because I think the question was presented in such a way as to suggest that the Freeholder Board did not pass a resolution. I think it's important to note that no issue on this subject was brought to the Freeholder Board.
I understand. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
The other question is it the board's intention to make a change, or should we continue with the work that we've been assigned for the group health benefits negotiation for budget purposes and for renewal negotiations?
I think I'm going to not respond to that question because I think that anything that I say will be in the wrong context taken by somebody. So let me punt on it for the moment to our council and suggest simply that I've learned of this letter. I've seen it today for the first time, and the freeholders are evaluating what the letter means, and we'll be discussing it at our work session of the 6th of February.
So should we presume that no change is going to take place until such discussion?
I don't think you can make that presumption. I don't think you can take any action one way or the other based on anything that I've said.
I understand. Will that decision process will be a public hearing or a private discussion for the freeholders?
I think,
Mr.
Chairman, I
Coyle?
think it's fair to say that that question can be answered if a resolution is delivered to the Freeholder Board and not prior to that time. And as the Chairman just noted, we have to be judicious in statements that are made in this forum in the event that circumstances lead us to another forum, and we don't want to be bound by anything that is said on the record here.
I appreciate it. So I'm just going to leave with the understanding that it will be reviewed and you'll have a legal opinion about that once you've had a chance to do so.
We will have some announcement after we meet on February the 6th.
Okay, I appreciate listening.
Thank you so much. I don't have any more of these sheets, but is there anybody else that would like to address the freeholders who has not turned one of these in? If not, I'll take a motion to close.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Freeholder DiNicola.
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tempore Felice.
Yes.
Freeholder Mitchell.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Vice Chair Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Gantz.
All right. All right. On the consent calendar tonight, will the clerk please?
Resolutions of unanimous consent, numbers 9 through 69.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Dr. Voss? Roll call.
Freeholder DiNicola.
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tempore Felice.
Yes.
Freeholder Mitchell.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Vice Chair Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Gantz.
Aye. Resolutions of non-consent. Resolution 8-13.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Freeholder
Mr.
DiNicola.
Chairman, thank you. As I had asked to place this on non-consent, I would like to say that I will be voting in the affirmative this evening, but I want to place on the record that while we all represent the county here and the taxpayers of Bergen County, and we need to do the right thing, and it's certainly the right thing to pay off our debt, this resolution is rather distasteful. And unfortunately, it's something that we have to move forward with. Actually, it stinks. In the words of my mother, it stinks to high heaven. It's in regard to Overpeck Park and bonds. $1.2 million of this $1.4 million resolution is in regard to paying off bonds that we learned during our work meeting were short-term notes from 2003 to 2004 and then rolled over from 2004 to 2005, seemingly so that they would be paid off by the tipping fees of contractors who were dumping soil there and part of a self-sustaining project for Overpack. And now, of course, we see that did not happen. We can't look at the records of the tipping there because they're no longer with the county. We heard from the county administrator that they have been taken by the FBI and other law enforcement agencies. So we are left right now with this essentially unpaid bill. And we need to pay it tonight, not only for 2013, but through 2020. And I think it's something that we all agree can never happen again. And as we plan for public projects, while Overpeck Park is a laudable project and started out as a $17.5 million county park project, it ended as a $101 million project. And I thank you for allowing me to speak on this, and that about sums it up for me.
Thank you,
Mr.
Freeholder.
Chairman.
Any additional comments? I'm just going to comment briefly on it if I may. This is part of the legacy of 50 years of county officials, mostly the freeholder boards of another era of more than 50 or 60 years ago, who failed to obey judgment after judgment of Superior Court justices who directed that certain actions be taken. And it's true enough that eventually, about 10 or 11 years, well, it's about 11 years ago to be precise, and I have some personal memory of this, having participated for a while as part of the defense team. But in any event, the agreement was finally reached to close the landfill that was there and to create a true central park for the county of Bergen. And this freeholder board that's here tonight and several of its predecessors agreed to do something that no other freeholder board had done in the 60 previous years, and that is to say we agreed to fund the closing and to pay for it. I think that we thought that the cost of it was going to be less than it was, but I do know that I said at the time that it was going to, my estimate was $100 million, and against the $17 million estimate that was presented to us. And it's proved to be not exactly correct. I think the county administrator will agree the final expenditures are still not in.
Correct.
But having said that, I agree that this is not something that we would like to see happen again, and hopefully we won't have projects of this kind to have this problem with. So I commend the board for doing the right thing on this. Freeholder DiNicola, as you aptly put it, a number of us are holding our nose and saying this is something that we have to do. And the reason we have to do it is because the obligation of the county is behind it, and to not pay this obligation would be unthinkable. It would say to our other people who have bought bonds from us in the past that their bonds are in jeopardy, and that's just not the case, as you well know. So, all things said, unless somebody else has something to comment on,
Chairman, if you wouldn't mind,
Freeholder Mitchell.
Just to double up on what you and Freeholder DiNicola said, is the thing that came out when we went through the questioning at our work session on this. My question to the county treasurer is that if we did not approve this resolution this evening, that our AAA credit rating as a county would be put at risk. When asked is that a possibility, he answered in the affirmative. So I just wanted to add that for the record.
Let me just, if I may, comment on what would have happened. And this is not this particular bond, but it's most of the bonds say that if you default on one bond, you've defaulted on other bonds, even though it has nothing to do with them. And so we're going to all do the right thing tonight.
Right.
All right. If nothing further.
And as we look forward, we need to make sure not only do we have better reins on our projects, but we need to take this vote today to make sure that our borrowing costs going forward to enable us to do future projects remains affordable for the residents of Bergen County.
Correct. And in conjunction with that, the administration told us previously, and the county treasurer affirmed, that we are looking to refinance to take advantage of the lower rates that are out there in the marketplace. And we'll probably have some good news about that in the coming months. Anything further from the board?
Nope.
If not, please call the roll.
Freeholder DiNicola.
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tempore Felice.
Yes.
Freeholder Mitchell.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Vice Chair Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Gantz.
Aye. There are no resolutions of non-consent and no resolutions pulled this evening. Committee reports. Freeholder DiNicola.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And this is the first meeting I get to say that. Unfortunately, for the reorg meeting, I was one of those people out with the flu. And while I guarantee I'm no longer contagious, it does take a long time to get back in the swing of things. And I did miss a lot, including this reorg. And I welcome our new freeholders on the board. I congratulate our new chairman and the rest of the executive board of the freeholders here. And I look forward to us all working together. It's actually one of the nicest meetings of the year because we all have our families there. It's one of the few times they can celebrate what we do, because we know for the most part throughout the year it's really a sacrifice on their part. or so much time away. It looks easy, but it really takes a lot to serve in public office, and I commend all of my colleagues here as we move forward on the new year. I do want to make a few comments, I'll say transitional comments in my committee report, because we are starting our new assignments. There were a few things that we finished up, some residual things from the storm that I want to reflect on from this evening's agenda. You'll see Resolution 55, my absolute favorite project, the Court Street Bridge. I should add, not my absolute favorite project. We have a resolution for $144,000+ that is also a part of the remedy from the surge of the Hackensack River during the storm. We were told at our work meeting that the total cost for repairing the bridge was $1.2 million, but I want to report to you that that total cost was covered by federal storm dollars. So the county isn't bearing that responsibility, and the bridge should be up and running and fine very shortly. We do have another change order on a project that was discussed by the county executive in the work meeting, and that's the JDC, Resolution 22. The JDC is another project that I think we all agree we need to focus on this year. It's something that did get out of hand, considering the number of juveniles that it will serve in Bergen County. And we need to pursue other avenues for funding the cost of operation of the JDC. Shared services with other counties, sending to us since we have this new, larger facilities. Because $1.8 million was added to the Human Services budget this year to cover the cost of the new personnel there. And we also learned at our work meeting that that does not include benefits or the fringe. So we need to be creative there as well. I did attend a number of events at the beginning of the year. One was the New York, New Jersey Trails Conference Dinner, which was hosted by the Ramapo College president. And sorry if I lose my voice here. That is a perfect example of what we are trying to do with a lot of the projects serving the public moving forward. They partnered with federal, state, county, and local dollars for this particular project, which was the renovation of the Darlington Schoolhouse on Route 202. That's going to be the new headquarters for the New York, New Jersey Trail Conference. They will be coming back again before the Historic Board here in Bergen County to see if they can get additional dollars, but they've been very, very effective in working together and working toward the goal of preserving the past while utilizing it for the future. So next time you drive by there, you'll see some of the good work that's being done. This past Sunday, we had Korean American Day, celebrated right here in this room, the 110th anniversary of Korean American Day, which started in Hawaii. Chairman Gantz was there, along with Freeholder Voss and my new neighbor here, Freeholder Tonelli, and a number of elected officials. We recognize members of the Korean American community for what they're contributing. As you know, this is a large and growing segment of our community, so much so after the last census that our ballots are now translated into Korean. I want to remark also on the work of the prosecutor's office. You may have read an article in the local newspaper that they released a video, an instructional video for schools regarding training for armed intruders. And sadly, this is training that is so necessary in our schools. I know this is a pet project of one of our other freeholders, Freeholder Voss, from her time in the Assembly. We absolutely have to keep our children safe. But as Maria mentioned during the public portion, part of keeping the public safe is addressing the issues of mental health and serving that population well. Because we have to accept that all of those children that were involved in that Newtown incident are our children, including the shooter. And that's where we're truly going to address a solution once that happens. I want to also draw your attention to a resolution on this evening's agenda, number 41. This is for a FEMA grant writer, and this reflects a lot of what we're trying to accomplish in county government, and that's working together with our municipalities so that we can come up with regional solutions that will be cost effective. This is in regard to flood mitigation, and our Public Works Department wants to work with Little Ferry, Moonachie, Garfield, Wallington, Carlstadt, and Lodi, and any other municipality that would like to be a part of that. And hopefully through this grant, we will receive the largest amount of money that Bergen has ever received in the past, two $20 million grants to help with some of the remediation and prevention in the future, considering that these 100-year storms are now once every 3 years. And lastly, I just want to remark that we are recognizing Martin Luther King's Day is coming up. I remember when just having Martin Luther King as a national holiday was a point of discussion. And then the discussion was, should we close the schools so that we can teach the children about Martin Luther King, or should we give them the day off, where we're not so sure that they would be remembering the legacy of Dr. King on that day. And I just want to say I was at the time in favor of keeping the kids in school so that they could be a captive audience, because so much of what Dr. King represents is so applicable today. We need to be working together. We need to be working together within the framework of this great country that we have and all of the issues that we face. And that's the conclusion of my report. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder Tonelli.
Thank you, Chairman. Unfortunately, this evening, we've only been here 2 weeks. I'm still collecting data and conducting interviews and meeting the committees that I'm representing, so I'll have much more to report at the next meeting, so I have nothing to report this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman Pro Tempore Felice.
Thank you very much. First, I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, for putting on the Human Services and Health Committee. I hope to share with this Freeholder Board my background in healthcare. And as to my colleague to my left, it's a very new year and really not a whole lot to report, but I just wanted to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to represent the people of Bergen County in those committees. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you, Freeholder. Freeholder Mitchell.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I previously reported that the issue of streamlining the expungement process for one-time low-level drug offenders will continue to be a priority of mine as I complete my first term as freeholder. Remarkably, many have been trying to tackle this issue, and it looks as though it is now finally moving in the right direction. I want to thank both Chairman Gans and Freeholder Zur for offering their expertise, along with my aide Magdalena and Staff Director Michael Kaplan. Our next milestone meeting will occur on January 24th and will be attended by community stakeholders along with the Workforce Investment Board. Since we last met, I attended a series of swearing-in ceremonies and celebrations, one in Harrington Park and of course in my hometown of Cliffside Park. In Cliffside, it's always a pleasure to see our mayor of 50-plus years, Jerry Calabrese, and the elected town council members, many of whom I ran against but sadly lost to. There were also a couple of councilmen who unfortunately have met their maker that I also lost to. And for obvious reasons, they were not in attendance. But be assured, ladies and gentlemen, I felt their presence. I would like to commend Chairman Gans for his hard work and diligence in making Freeholder Board election transition as smooth as it has occurred. I look forward to working closely with our newbies, Freeholder Zur and Tonelli. Both will bring wonderful experience to our board, and I am sure will work well with incumbents Vice Chairwoman Voss, Chairman Pro Tempore Felice, and of course Freeholder DiNicola. This year my committee assignments will be Budget and Finance, Community Development, Law and Public Safety, Organization and Internal Affairs, and Public Works. I'm also an alternate Freeholder representative on the Bergen County African American Advisory Committee. I look forward to a productive 2013 and the hard work, the challenges, and the successes the year will bring. That concludes my report, Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder Mitchell. Freeholder Zur.
Thank you. in the past 2 weeks since I was sworn in, I've done everything that we can do to hit the ground running. I think Freeholder Tonelli sold us short a little bit. I know that he accompanied me on a tour of the Bergen County Jail. I went with Freeholder Voss to tour the Board of Social Services building, as well as the homeless shelter. Also have toured the juvenile detention facility with Freeholder Mitchell. One of the things I want to bring to the board's attention is upcoming at the homeless shelter on January the 30th is Project Homeless Connect that's going to be going on from 1 to 3 p.m. It's a very valuable program, and I was very impressed with everything that's going on at the homeless shelter to really help these individuals transition from the situations that they find themselves in into productive situations, productive housing, and also employment and education. So I encourage everyone to take part in the Project Homeless Connect if possible. And also, additionally, when we toured Bleshman, another facility that I was just incredibly impressed with Dr. Lerner and the entire staff there who's working so hard to provide wonderful service to our at risk and at special needs children. And they're having their jump-a-thon on February the 1st, 9:30 a.m. So all of us need to get our sneakers on and go jump with the students of Bleshman. It is supposedly a wonderful event where we will all have an opportunity to engage and participate with those individuals and with those students and with their very hardworking staff who give so full-heartedly to these kids who really need their help. And so I encourage us all to go there. I'm very excited to be chairing this year the Law and Public Safety Committee, Economic Development, and Health, and also to serve on the Human Services Committee, and also sit on the Board of Social Services. Attended our first meeting there last night, and I'm very excited to be able to listen to the staff and had the opportunity to listen to the staff last night, and looking forward to working together to really provide vital services to the residents in Bergen County. So that's it for my report tonight.
Thank you, Phil. Deserve Dr. Voss.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman Gantz and I are in full agreement that it's going to be a very beneficial situation to have a member of the clergy come to open up our meetings. I think that we want this to be not only a civil and collegial kind of meeting, but also I think it's very important that we kind of reflect on ethics and doing things the right way. So I'm in 1,000% agreement, and I think Rabbi Tao did a wonderful job explaining some of the things that he does, and this will continue, I know. Tracy and I went to the Board of Social Services last night. Very interesting meeting, I must say. And several things came out of it. One of the things is we need to move that facility. That facility is inadequate for the needs of our needy population. And so that's number one on our hit parade, to try and get that. And I think the other thing is we absolutely, more and more people need social services. I mean, in our economy, it's becoming, we just got statistics on how many people are on food stamps, how many people need assistance, and we have to have more workers over there to help the clients, and you know that, okay? And one of the things, I belong to Rotary, and we do a great deal with veterans and with people returning from the wars, and many of the people returning from the wars suffer from post-traumatic stress syndrome. And at my last meeting, which was Tuesday, someone got up because we're going to be doing a project where we will send people who to a program in Israel, as a matter of fact, where they have developed a program that really helps people suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome. And one of the things I found out that really hurt my heart was that more of our young men who are returning from the war commit suicide than are killed in battle. And that gives me, I just can't believe that. And so we really have a serious problem that we have to address. And one of the reasons is that somebody explained that in the war, like the Korean War or World War, you knew that you were there for the duration of the war, and that was it. These young men and women are there for 6 months or so, brought back to the United States. Some of them have served 6 tours of duty. You can imagine what this does to their psyche. I mean, it's just awful. So, you know, we in Bergen County, I think, have a terrific Board of Social Services, and Tracy and I will be at every meeting to make sure that people are very well aware of what's going on. As Tracy said, we went to the homeless shelter, which is doing a fabulous job. I mean, that place is so well run, and the services that are provided. One of the things I do is to go around to different groups in the county and talk about what Bergen County provides for people and what the Board of Freeholders does. And I think that many of the people in Bergen County have no clue as to the services that are available. And so I feel it's like my duty and all of our duty to make people aware of what's there. Blushton School is phenomenal. As Tracy said, the Jump-a-thon will all be there. But one of the things that's wonderful is that we need to address the needs of our special students. And so the school will be moved, hopefully by 2014, to Paramus, which will make things so much more accessible to parents and to students. And I have high hopes that programs that will deal with the kids over 21 who are disabled will be put in place. And I'm doing a lot of research on this because this is like a real pet project of mine. And we need to be aware that once children age out of the school at 21, there are very few facilities for them. I just want to say congratulations. Tom Rapoli is the chief of police, was the chief of police in Fort Lee for many years. He was on the police force for 41 years. I was his teacher back in the day. So it was really a lot of fun to go. Most of my students have already retired who were policemen, so anyway. But he has done an admirable job, and I just want to say congratulations and good fortune in the future because he's a great guy. And I believe that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you and good evening. I have a couple different topics that I want to cover tonight, and right at the top of my list is something that was mentioned a little bit earlier, food stamps. This is absolutely astonishing what I'm going to tell you. We are one of the wealthiest counties in the United States, but if you look at the number of families that are taking food stamps at this time, it's more than 20,000 families. It's 5.13% of the population of Bergen County. And it affects towns, actually all 70 communities, from Alpine down to Wyckoff. Every single household in those towns, one or more, is affected and are taking food stamps. My own town of Fairlawn, 600 families are on food stamps. And Saddle River, 1.4% of the population. Fort Lee, 5.8% of the population by household. Just to list briefly those where 5% of the households or more are on food stamps: Fairlawn, Alpine, North Arlington, Leonia, Rochelle Park, Ridgefield, Carlstadt, Fort Lee, Hasbrook Heights, Lyndhurst, Maywood, Wallington, Teaneck, Little Ferry, Palisades Park, Ridgefield Park, Pagoda, Bergenfield, East Rutherford, South Hackensack, Elmwood Park, Cliffside Park, Englewood, Lodi, Hackensack, Moonachie, Garfield, Fairview, and Teterboro. Teterboro, an astonishing 40% of the families that are there are on food stamps. Fairview, almost 18% of the households there are on food stamps. And Lonnie, South Hackensack, 9.59%. I offer this as a challenge to the freeholders. We need to do something about this, because these are, and actually it's a perfect lead-in, because one of the things that we can do about it is to remind people that Bergen Wellness is something that they can utilize. These are people who need assistance on their food. They obviously need assistance on their medical needs as well. This offers the opportunity for consumers to get discounts on prescription drugs for themselves, prescription drugs for pets, eyeglasses, hearing aids, and many other things. And the ability to get a discount on medicine for your pets has been brought home to me again by Mimi, the Tonkinese cat, who is diabetic again.
Poor baby.
And so we're buying insulin again for her. And insulin for cats costs $300 off the rack going in. With the Bergen Wellness card, there's a 30% savings, or $90. The card is free. You can use it. You can get it from any freeholder. You can also get it off the Freeholder website. Okay. Tonight, I wanted to also talk a little bit about the budget. The county executive presented us with the 2013 budget. I would like to thank her for her presentation, and also Al Despoto for answering questions subsequently. I think it's a kinder and gentler budget than a year ago. There's an increase for the Bergen Community College. There were not cuts that I saw to mental health or the library. And having said that it's a kinder and gentler budget, the freeholders still have a great deal of responsibility to do. Frankly, it's our primary responsibility. And we're going to go through the budget line by line, and we will function both as the budget committee and as a committee of the whole, which means that every freeholder is entitled to come to every budget hearing, and we will go through it, and we're going to, where we think we can cut it some more, we're going to. I don't say that that is going to be an easy task, but that will be the way it is. And since Al Despoto isn't here, we're probably planning to have the first 10 budget hearings the last week in March. That's when he's going on vacation. That was just a joke. This is the time of the year. This will be the 11th time that I've shown this picture, but there are some people that still haven't seen it. Martin Luther King's, in this year is the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington, and I had my own interaction with Dr. King in 1968 when he spoke in Rockville Center, New York at Southside Junior High School. I was not in the junior high school, I was in the senior high school at the time, but I was there with Dr. King. This is the picture. And
It's upside down.
There we go. I'm standing in the back row there, and it was one of the most remarkable opportunities and speeches that I have had the ability to witness. This is an accident of history that Dr. King was there talking about something I just didn't understand at the time, which was the strike among the Memphis sanitation workers. He was there talking about the Vietnam War, which was not something that was really on my radar screen yet, because I was still under the age of 18 and not concerned about the draft or anything else. But this remarkable man has set the tone for a generation, and what is so incredible is that the events of the March on Washington, which I saw on television, the events of the subsequent assassination in 1968, and the other events that happened at the same time, really show that here's a person who is willing to pay the ultimate price for involvement in public service and for service above self. Anyway, that concludes what I hope is everybody will agree was a very successful meeting. The politics of agreement is working. Even with the one item that was taken off the consent agenda, there was a unanimous vote by every freeholder here on every agenda item, and I assure you there were some very controversial items in here, but it's something that we all agree is for the betterment of the citizens of Bergen County. That having been said, is there any further business before the board? County Administrator.
Send David to Washington. Maybe he'll get Congress to pay our bills unanimously.
Is there any further business before the board? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Roll call.
Freeholder Dina Cole.
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tempore Felice.
Yes.
Freeholder Mitchell.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Vice Chair Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur. Yes. Chairman Gantz.
Aye, we are adjourned.